like my mom telling her birth story.
Now that is, I love hearing the older.
I definitely want to hear that.
I love hearing that.
She doesn't remember a lot of it, she says. You know, because they like twilight you, evidently.
I have heard that kind of.
They like give you some medicine that would make you kind of.
Yeah.
And
like that was their pain medicine.
Yeah.
That was their pain medicine.
You know, she was twilighted.
Probably
most
the
of
Hopper
time.
cocktail.
Yeah, might have been.
Amazing listeners, before we dive into today's episode, we wanted to share something exciting with you.
That's right. It's all about the Laborhood merch shop. And we've got some fantastic custom merchandise that we think that you will love.
When you shop with us, you not only get some fly gear to show your Laborhood pride, but also help us keep this podcast going strong.
We've carefully selected some items that we think that you will adore, from comfy t-shirts to stylish accessories. There's literally something for everyone.
And the best part, you can find all these fantastic goodies on our website. Just look for shop in the menu.
It's more than just merchandise. It's a way for you to support our mission in supporting maternal health care.
So whether you're sipping from your Laborhood water bottle or sporting one of our teas, you're making a statement and helping us create a safer and better birthing experience for all.
Check it out today, and thank you so much for being part of the Laborhood gang.
Now, let's get back to today's episode.
Hey, everybody.
Hi, guys.
Welcome back. We are here with the Laborhood podcast. I am your co-host, Briea, along with my other co-host.
Hi, friends. I'm Shay.
And if you are new here to the podcast, welcome.
First off, welcome.
We are so glad. If this isn't your first time, we are so glad you came back. So I can't even talk. If this is your first time at the Laborhood podcast, me and Shay are two Black birth workers who have come together to create a podcast and a safe space for women to know and understand different things about birth, labor and delivery, and we kind of cover everything from close to complete
and everything in between. So welcome.
You might see someone sitting across from us today, and we are so excited that she is here.
Yes.
We have our friend, Miss Johnette, here with us today. A very special episode. Welcome.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Yes. So Johnette is, we are going to put her in the category of work mamas with us.
Absolutely.
We met Johnette years and years ago when Shay and I first started doing labor and delivery. She was our charge nurse. She became our charge nurse again when I went back years later. Yep. And so we are so happy that she is here with us because we have something special in store for everybody. So Johnette, welcome.
Please introduce yourself to all the
people.
Thank you. I'm Johnette Jeffries-Lopez. I've been a nurse for a long time, 35 years.
Oh, yes.
Last 10 of it in labor and delivery.
Hey.
Yes.
Mom of 3.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah. So what are they? So what are their ages? I know. I know.
I mean,
we know your kids, but we'll introduce them to everybody else.
So Janelle is 32.
Okay.
Jared is 28, and Joshua is 26.
Okay. So you. Around the time me and Shay was coming into where
work mama fits very well.
Yeah, it fits. So today we're kind of just, I think the premise of the episode is to kind of walk through labor throughout the years and just see how it has changed or it hasn't changed throughout the years. So Janelle was born in what, 91?
91.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So we're kind of gonna talk about what that was like then, especially since you were a nurse then, but you weren't a labor nurse then.
Correct.
So there are some things that you probably will look back on and be like, I don't really like how that went back then.
I should have known then.
That wasn't right. That was not right. So Janelle's 31. So we'll talk about that birth in particular. And if we need to like grab some details from the other ones, we'll certainly do that too.
Okay.
So we said Janelle was 31. So when and where did you give birth to Janelle?
I gave birth to Janelle in Charlotte.
Okay.
I was living in Charlotte then.
Okay.
And I gave birth there at, I think it was Presbyterian.
Okay.
Yeah.
Y'all know
It's a baby factory.
Yes, they be cranking them out at Presby.
Yeah.
They be cranking them out. So I guess how was your pregnancy? So you were first pregnancy. How was that pregnancy? How was that? Any complications or like?
Oh, I had horrible complications.
Oh, okay.
Okay. All right.
Also, this is me and Shay's first time hearing the story.
Yes.
I say horrible complications because I had to be out of work. I was on bed rest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's new. Like typically we don't put people on bed rest anymore.
Yes.
Okay.
So back then they did. And I could get up and go to the bathroom, take a shower. That was it.
Wow. And how long were you like on bed rest for? Or okay, first
Most
off,
of the pregnancy.
what put you on bed rest, number one?
So
It's fine. You can be as blunt and as honest as you need to be.
let's
So
just be
we
blunt
are
and
not
honest.
censored. We are not censored.
okay,
Yeah.
let's just be blunt and honest.
Yes.
So I had a miscarriage.
Okay.
I had a miscarriage. I knew that was what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I was hurting, passing large clots.
Mm-hmm.
I called the doctor. She called me in some medicine, you know, and be at my office first thing in the morning because it was at night.
Okay.
So I was at the office first thing in the morning. Yes, that's what's happening. You know, scheduled this D&C. You know, had it done. All good.
Okay.
So had it done. I'm all good, and then all of a sudden, I'm bleeding again. You know,
Okay.
bleeding, and I'm like calling back. What's going on? You know. Get to the doctor's office, and the doctor, I forget his name. Bless his heart. I can see his face.
Yeah,
but
that's fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Can I think of his name? Anyway, he was, you know, I could tell he was baffled, you know. He's like, not sure what's going on. Let me check you, you know.
Okay.
So he checks me. I could see once again he's baffled, you know. And he's like, and you had a D&C and we told you that we got it all. It was a complete evacuation.
Yeah.
And I was like,
That's what y'all said. That's what said.
that's what you said. What you told me. He said, well, your uterus feels pregnant.
Oh, all right.
He was like, yeah, that's what I said. He was like, so let's do an ultrasound. So he goes, you know, he does the ultrasound. He's putting the thing on it, and I know when the doctor gets quiet and he keeps moving the thing around, I know that, you know, something is up.
Yeah.
So the poor man, he finally does like this, and he says,
Oh, Lord.
well, whatever it is, it's got a heartbeat.
Oh, well.
All right, then.
I'm like, okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then I look like, he said, you know, from size and everything, because then, you know, he's letting the real ultrasound people come and measure and do things.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And I was like 16, 18 weeks pregnant. So
Oh,
this
wow.
is still from
Your DNC?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, she was meant to be here.
Right.
Let me tell
She
you.
was
The
right.
Lord had his hand in that.
Yes, he did.
Oh,
Yes, he did.
wow.
Wow. Okay, miracle
I have
baby
told-
Janelle.
You're right.
I have told Janelle before that she is meant to be.
Yes.
To the point that the doctor, you know, now you go back for your first, you know, 6-week visit, and you take the baby.
Mhm.
Oh, he was taking the baby around and things. This is my miracle baby. This is the baby I was telling you about.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So from that point, I guess after they confirmed that you were pregnant, is that when they put you on bed rest?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So from 16 weeks on, he said, go lay down.
Go lay down. Don't move. Put your feet up.
I'm a go lay down.
I'm about to go lay down.
At that point, I I needed to lay down.
Yeah.
I had to lay down too. I would have laid down in that
I'm going in
office.
thinking, what is going on?
No.
Girl, it's a baby. It's a baby in there.
What'd you say?
It's a baby.
It's a whole baby.
Oh,
Whole baby.
wow.
Okay, so from 16 weeks to
Yeah.
Wow.
that's a long time.
That is.
That's a long. That's
That
a
is.
long time.
Yeah.
Oh.
Wow, I'm just baffled.
I'm glad I heard this story like fresh on camera.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know it before.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, that's
Yeah. So
amazing.
I didn't get to work with my first pregnancy
Yeah.
or anything. It was
You just had to stay in the bed. I would have lost my mind.
yeah.
Yeah.
I did.
Okay.
That's a lot on your mental.
Yeah, it's a lot.
To think
Because
that you
going
were
in thinking it's just going to be a
gonna
doctor's appointment to being like, oh, you're pregnant, but you also don't go back
Yeah,
to work.
because I had the placenta her placenta had peeled off a little bit and slid down.
Okay.
So that's another big reason I was on bed rest.
Okay.
All right.
You know.
Okay.
And the doctor was very clear about signs and symptoms of bleeding, and this is what you can do. This is what you know.
Yeah, can do.
Yeah. And told the dad, if you come in there and you're talking to her and she's not answering you right or she doesn't look right, you need to call 911.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Okay.
So I had to go back and have, ultrasounds every couple of weeks for a while,
Okay.
But finally, the placenta reattached and even climbed back up and got off my cervix.
Well, look at
Okay.
that.
Well,
Love that. Okay.
absolutely love that. For people who don't know, your placenta can attach either over top of your cervix or it can attach right near your cervix, which can be increased risk for bleeding, can be an increased risk for preterm labor, those kinds of things. As the pregnancy continues to grow, like you said, like it kind of moves out the way. As the pregnancy grows, the placenta kind of grows up and away.
Like as that uterus kind of stretches and it grows, the placenta can, as it has attached with the uterus, it kind of just grows.
Just moves
this
on out of the
way.
way.
It moves on out of the way. Sometimes. Sometimes they stay over the cervix, which is called the placenta previa, and they stay over the cervix, and we can't deliver through that.
That's not my ministry.
Yeah, we can't
That's
deliver
when I'm
through
gonna
that.
refer you to an OB.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. So, had all those things happen. Goodness gracious, that was a lot. But now you've gotten through your pregnancy. Now we're getting towards the end. So, did you go into labor on your own?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So the other part of Johnette in labor is my body's like, okay, I'm done.
And you go.
And
You go. Okay.
Yeah, and usually a little early. So Janelle came at 34, 35 weeks.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you were at home, probably just on bed rest, and you started hurting, like contracting.
Yeah.
Okay. And then
Started contracting and maybe this is what it is, but I felt like I've been uncomfortable so much that, I don't know if this is quite it or not. And
Right.
then I had taken Lamaze, that
Oh
was
yeah,
the
that was
thing.
the 90s. Everybody had to have a Lamont.
yeah.
That was the thing.
Yeah.
And so I had went to Lamaze classes and everything, and I'm like, is this what they're talking about? I don't know.
Yeah.
I went to bed that night, and my water broke.
Oh wow.
2:30 in the morning.
Okay.
Okay. Come on, baby Janelle. She's
Right.
getting on out of there.
So you went to the hospital. Was it like, well, you said when you go, so I'm assuming it was not a long labor.
No. So my water broke at 2:30 in the morning. I was at home, and we had to drive. We lived in Charlotte. We had to drive to Presbyterian South, which was a little bit away,
Okay.
So we drove there, got there. They get me out and they put me in the wheelchair. And, at the time, I didn't know all these things. But you put me in the wheelchair and I rode down the hall like this.
Please go to L&D.
Hurry. So y'all know we have talked about the one butt cheek.
So if you missed that one, you can go back and watch it. But when we say people are coming in on one butt cheek, they're literally sitting like this, which means that baby has gotten lower.
And it's on its way out. It's uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable to sit down because it's like putting pressure.
I have one cheek that to the thing. I didn't know it was a sign at the time.
Right.
I'm just thinking, well, my water broke. This is uncomfortable. This Lamar's breathing sure is coming in.
Right. That's right. I bet.
But it's probably going to be a long night, right?
Yeah.
So I get there. They check me. I was like 7 to 8.
Yeah, that's why you was one butt cheeking it.
Yeah.
It's that reason right there.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I get there, check me. I was like 7 to 8, and she was born at 6:50. This didn't take no time. Yeah.
4 hours.
Your water broke at 2:30, and you had a baby at 6:50.
One can only hope. That
Right. I
want
want to be like. Can I be like you when I grow up?
You sure can.
Okay.
Hey there, wonderful listeners. It's Briea here, one of your hosts for the Laborhood podcast, and we've got some incredible news to share with you today. The Laborhood is now proudly a Kindred Bravely ambassador. But what's Kindred Bravely, you ask? Well, let me tell you about this amazing company that's all about supporting moms just like you. Kindred Bravely is a brand built on love that's poured into every single piece of clothing they create. Their meticulously designed clothes are here to make your journey through motherhood a little easier, from the bump to breastfeeding and beyond. Because let's face it, mama, you deserve to look and feel great all the time. Kindred Bravely understands that, and they're here for you every step of the way. Now, here's the exciting part. We have a special offer just for you, our incredible community. When you shop with Kindred Bravely using our unique code, you'll get an amazing 15% off your purchase. That's right, 15% off. So how do you claim this offer? It's simple. Just visit and use our code LaborhoodP15 and shop till you drop. At checkout, be sure to use the unique code LaborhoodP15 to unlock those savings.
So I butt cheeked it up there. I'm
Yeah.
7 to 8. They're like, "Do you want an epidural?" I'm like, "Yes."
Absolutely.
Uh-huh. So they gave me the epidural. Sit
Yeah.
up, do the epidural. I lay down, and the doctor, basically,
Baby.
the doctor walked in and was like, "Okay, she got the epidural. Let me check her." And he's like, "Oh, it's
Y'all get my table. Somebody get my table.
Get some gloves.
Hit me pair of gloves.
yeah." So
Wow.
I pushed, lay back. He's like, "Okay, this is coming. This is happening now."
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Go ahead and push." I pushed 3 times, and Janelle was here. Mhm.
Whoa.
Oh, I really want to be like you when I grow
So
up.
I was like, "What did that epidural do for me?"
Yeah.
That was
that was
why-
nothing.
I
Yeah.
wasted my time and my money.
Yeah. I could have just did this. Yeah.
I wasted my time and my money because
Yeah.
it was to me the after part after she was born and I'm fine and I want to,
Move.
I
Get
want
up
to be
and
moving
move.
around.
Yeah, you can't.
Now my legs
Now
are
your
numb,
legs
dead.
numb. Yeah. That make
Yeah.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
So did she have to go to a NICU or anything?
Because she was early.
She did not. We spent an extra day in the hospital. That was
Okay.
it. Her sugars were a little low, so they were giving her, extra sugar water. But she did great. But us
Little
babies,
black girls.
Yeah,
Little black
they
girls.
than to do
They do.
better
They
than
do.
Yes.
They do.
Mhm.
Yes,
They
than
do.
the boys for sure. That is true.
Absolutely.
That is very
Absolutely.
true. I was
Yeah.
literally gonna be like,
And
"Well,
I
she was a
saw
black girl."
that.
Yeah.
I saw that in her and my last child.
Mm-hmm.
He was born at 33 weeks, something like that. Not much difference between him
Right.
and Janelle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was in the NICU for like a month, 4 weeks.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. Listen, the girls,
The girls is winning.
they always gonna be like,
Janelle-
"Janelle, fine."
Janelle only weighed 4 pounds, 7 ounces. He weighed 4 pounds.
Really not that much difference.
Really
Not a lot
that
of difference
much
at all.
Mhm.
But she was like, "Girl,
She was like,
we can get on out of here.
Look, I'm ready to go.
We can go home. I'm all right. Oh wow. So did you breastfeed, bottle feed?
So I bottle fed Janelle.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't remember with Janelle anybody, offering, asking,
breastfeeding.
do you want? Is this something you want to do? Let me talk to you about it.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, and I think that was big in the when that turn happened and a lot of Black women started bottle feeding, there was not not nearly as much as how we, it has gotten to be such a bigger thing in maybe like the past like decade or so, probably.
Because my mom was like that too. Like, if you ask her, she'd be like, I absolutely had no intention of breastfeeding.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But I ended up having a NICU stay, and they were like, breast would be the best thing for her at this point to help her survive. And so that's why she ended up breastfeeding, and then ended up breastfeeding my brothers. But she had no intention. She was like, absolutely not. You're not putting the baby on the boob. Okay, period.
Yeah.
And I think that if somebody would have offered it to me, I'd have said, let's try it.
Right. Right.
Because I had seen other women in my family breastfeed. But I don't think they even discussed it with me.
Yeah, like same. Like, she says that she didn't know anything about it. It was not an option for her until I went to the NICU.
Very.
And
I was born in 94.
Josh was born in 95. No, Jared was born in 95. Josh was born in 97. So when he was born and with his NICU stay, yes, they pushed breastfeeding. So
it's crazy
even when
how
I
much
was
of,
when
like,
he
that
was
difference.
in the hospital, I pumped and they gave him my breast milk.
It's crazy, like, what a 5 or 7 year difference.
Right. That's because it's not long. That's
that's
not
long.
That's not long at all.
Yeah. And I even when I had Jared in 95, they were more breastfeeding, pushing that. And asked me, talked to me about it, educated me, helped me try it at the hospital, stuff like that. But Jared was 6 pounds, so he was big enough, but it was like he was so hungry. I don't know what it was. It didn't work well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't work well.
Yeah.
I tried it with him.
Yeah. So was just Janelle's father with you the day you gave birth?
Yeah.
Okay. So
he was.
So no extra, like your mom wasn't there, no sister, no nothing.
My mom was there for Janelle. I think my mom made it to the hospital.
Okay. Was that helpful, or did it not really matter because you was just hurting and you was trying to have
everything went so fast?
It did. It went fast.
It didn't really matter,
guys. A unicorn. That doesn't happen for everybody.
And and Johnette is tall. The long leg girls tend to just have babies. Have babies. They have babies.
And that's what I learned after I got to labor and delivery.
Yes.
So even with Jared, it was on and popping. Once my water broke, it was like,
Well, so you had a baby. Now you're home. Did you you didn't get to work during your pregnancy? Did you go back?
I went back to work. Yes, I was out. This was like the beginning of FMLA stuff and stuff like that. Yeah. So I did get to go back to work.
Okay.
But I was working in an ICU. So I did get to go back after my 6 weeks.
Okay. So it was just 6 weeks.
Did have 6 weeks, didn't have more than that.
I think I did 12.
Okay.
I think I've done 12 with each of my kids.
Okay.
Because
well, good.
Yeah.
That's
I think I've done 12 with each of my kids.
Okay. Okay. Well, good. Oh my goodness. Now, well, you said you were an ICU nurse. And your provider, he was kind of, obviously surprised that you were even pregnant again, and then saw Janelle as a miracle baby. But during your pregnancy, did you have any major concerns, but then you felt like you weren't heard during certain things, or because of the complications, do you feel like?
I think because, especially with Janelle, in the pregnancy with Janelle, because the doctor was so from the start.
I bet.
Yeah, that he was like, if Johnette says something is wrong,
y'all listen.
Call me. Call me. Call me.
Exactly. Put my pager. Yeah, give me a pager. Give me a pager number.
Page me immediately. Page me immediately. Okay. Well. Oh wow. I'm so glad I heard this story.
I know.
I I mean, I feel like we talked some about like your birth because at work we got 12 hours. It'd be late, and we know a lot about each other. But and I know like some of like your youngest because he was breech and all that other stuff.
Yeah, that was a whole different thing.
Right. And I knew that story.
Several occasions that I wasn't heard, and one occasion my mom even spoke up and was like, if she's telling you she's hurting, she's hurting.
Yeah.
But this is my third baby. I did Lamaze classes with each child so that I would, refresh. So I'm not screaming my head off, but, I got that little lip sweat.
That's real. That's real. The lip sweat and the firm brow. That's all you really need.
She hurting.
She's hurting.
Yeah.
And you said that you went mostly unmedicated or unepiduralized with your second. So you know how this is. And you practically went unepiduralized with the first.
Basically,
so
Yeah, so I by the third time, I definitely had a baseline of how bad this was going to hurt and just about where I was. Because I moved fast. And I don't know if by the time I'm uncomfortable and paying attention, I'm already...
You there.
active.
Yeah.
That's your transition.
Yeah. So by the time I'm active and paying attention and it's making me stop when I walk down the hall, then...
It's on and popping.
Yeah.
So when I went into labor really early with Josh, and I'm like, this is not Braxton Hicks.
Yeah, this is the
This
real
is
deal.
real.
Yeah.
This is real.
So I was on MAG and everything.
Okay. So it's a very different experience for Josh.
Very different experience with Josh.
Yeah.
I was on MAG. I don't think I remember most of the days I was on MAG.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes you a little,
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
It does. It makes you feel
And
kind of crappy.
how you give that bolus and the patient says,
It's hot.
I feel hot and sick.
Yeah.
That's real. That is, it's real. It is a hot, sick feeling. When I got that bolus, I actually had to sit up on the side of the bed. I was like, I'm going to throw up or poop. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know what's happening.
But I don't feel good. Yeah.
I need a bag.
Somebody pay me.
I need a fan.
It was bad.
Yeah.
We have not discussed like complications in pregnancy yet. We will get to that. But for those who don't know, a very quick snippet about MAG. Typically, we give MAG for very, very high blood pressure in pregnancy, or you get magnesium for preterm labor. Typically like anything less than 35 weeks. And you said that Josh was 33-ish. So it's most likely that you got magnesium for neuroprotection to protect you from having a seizure and also protect baby's brain. With that being said, MAG is like a continuous IV drip. The first part, the bolus that she's talking about, is usually a 4 gram, somewhere between a 2 gram and a 4 gram load, where you get like a whole bunch of it at once. And yes, we counsel patients like, hey, you might feel like you need to throw up, you might feel hot and flushed. MAG makes you feel kind of crappy. And
the nurse will stay at the bedside for that particular reason because it's like, I'm gonna just watch you while we give you this.
I've seen nurses. They say that, they tell you all the things, and but I can tell you
from personal experience. I just want to let everybody know.
You feel awful, and I feel for the patient because I know how awful you feel. And that's why you're supposed to stay that first 15 minutes. I stay the first 30 because I'm telling you, your whole life changes. Your life waltzes right out the door. It's just
because it does make you kind of like lethargic, and you kind of just like, girl, I'm gonna just lay here.
That's all you can do.
Yeah,
you really do feel like you have a bad case of the flu. Just heavy. You feel heavy. Everything is a major effort to move.
I mean, we're giving you a large quantity of a muscle relaxant. Like it's supposed to open those vessels up and dilate those vessels.
Works on the smooth muscles.
It's just
And a lot of your body is a smooth muscle, so
it's like, girl, hey, get this baby out of me.
Yes, I just don't remember it.
Yeah.
I just don't remember it. And
Yeah.
then when they took me off and moved me out to the regular floor, whatever, the high-risk OB unit,
Right.
I remember that. And then that's when my contractions started back up. After I had been out there about 12 to 24 hours,
Okay.
contractions started back up. Josh was still breech because they had tried to
Turn him.
turn him. Yeah, that didn't work.
He's like, nah.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
nah,
This is
I'm
it.
good right here.
Yeah.
So then I proceed to the emergency C-section after I had to convince the nurse that I really am hurting. These contractions are starting back up.
Yeah.
And they're coming now. So then my mother spoke up and was like, because the nurse comes in, then she comes back later. She said, "Are you still hurting?" "Ma'am, yeah."
Yeah.
Then she sent somebody else in to see if they think I'm hurting.
Now, this time I would have just checked you. I
And
would
that
just,
is- you gonna check a 33-week breach?
if I call the provider, be like, "What you want me to do?"
Yeah, that's true.
And if they
That's
say,
true.
if they're not in house or if they're in surgery, if it's a provider that knows if I'm calling,
yeah.
they might be like, just see what she is, just check her.
Didn't even have me on a monitor.
Okay.
Our,
In her defense, typically, if they've been category 1, they get intermittent monitoring.
they do, but if my pretermer say I'm hurting,
I mean,
okay, baby, you gotta go.
I
on the
would've
monitor.
put her on the monitor.
All right, well, let's just see what we got, because then she would have saw these
This is true.
these contractions.
Okay.
So they didn't put
Nurses,
me.
if your patient, if someone
All right.
shows you who
Yeah,
they are,
yeah,
believe
yeah,
them.
especially
Okay, like if she tells you, if your preterm person is telling you she is hurting, believe her. At least put her on the monitor.
yeah. And if you get her on
Yeah.
there 20 minutes and she
And then
don't
she's
not
not
happen,
contracting,
then,
oh well, you know,
yeah.
like
Right.
we're not picking up anything. Readjust.
yeah,
Just
or just
or
put
just
your hands on her.
put your hands on her belly.
Nobody touched me.
Yeah,
I wasn't on the monitor. And looking back now as a labor and delivery nurse,
Mhm.
I'm like, wow.
mm-hmm.
I could have had them a little 33 weeks
in the
In
bed,
the
in the
In the
bed.
bed.
In the time that they spent trying to
Yeah.
figure out if I was really hurting
Mhm.
and not touching me.
Yeah,
Not spending that time in the room. She comes in,
Mhm.
she goes out, then she sends somebody else. And then this time she comes back. So the last time when my mama said, this is not her first baby.
Mhm.
She said, this is her third baby. She
Oh,
said,
is that when the light bulb went off?
right?
Mhm.
She's like, this is her third baby. She said, and she did her second baby with no pain medicine.
Yeah.
She said, so if she's telling you she's hurting, she's
Mhm.
hurting. She
Mhm.
said, with that baby with no pain medicine, she said she went through the whole thing, and she said, and she never made a sound. She said, so if she's telling you she's hurting,
Yeah.
she's hurting.
And you've had a history of preterm
Preterm-
births.
Baby, if I
2
look
times
at,
prior to this.
if I see a 34, 30, oh no,
Nah, I'm gonna be checking on you double time.
Yeah, I'm,
Especially like, no,
Yeah.
not with your history. Not
So
with your
then
history.
She comes in, and she puts me on the monitor
Mhm.
at that time, this third or fourth
Yeah.
time she's in. She puts me on the monitor, and this,
I bet.
Mhm.
Mountains.
yeah, mountains.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously because
And by this time, this is only my third baby, but I can read that thing.
yeah,
now. By that time, I saw the mountains,
Yeah.
and I was looking at her dead in her eyeball. And she was like, I'm going to call the doctor.
yeah,
I bet. I bet.
yeah, yeah. Woo-wee. Well, I mean, we've obviously talked about like all your birth stories, and you were a nurse then, but now you are a labor nurse. So we can kind of touch on like Janelle's birth. If you could go back now that knowing what you know now, if you could go back and do some things different, would you?
I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, because it was such a not in the books kind of
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
experience.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what I would do differently,
Yeah.
because I don't know what I would do differently.
And that's okay.
I
You
was
know,
like, that
that is
is
an
fine.
answer.
That was
Because
that's
I
fine.
felt like the doctor, when I say he, was genuinely concerned
Mm-hmm.
and listened,
Yeah.
and I don't think I could ask for anything different.
Well, that's
because
great to
when
hear,
when
honestly.
I got there, and I was 7 to 8, they was
Mhm.
like, Are you gonna want that epidural?
Yeah, yeah,
And I was like, yeah.
yeah.
You know, well, maybe if somebody would have said, "Well, girl, if you done made it this far," you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Okay.
and had the tools
It
to
was-
kind of coach
yeah.
you, you probably would have been fine with no epidural.
Right.
Yeah.
Because like with my second one, the same thing happened. You know, my water broke, but I knew this time when my water broke, no, I don't take a shower before you go. You just need to.
Yeah.
You need to go.
Yeah.
You just need to go.
We just need to leave.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my water broke at home. We left. Got to the hospital.
You had a baby in a few
Yeah.
hours.
So I forgot how it happened.
You really should have been like, I probably should leave the house before my water breaks.
Well, you know. Like I said, that I was uncomfortable that day with Jared. I was uncomfortable.
But you
No.
weren't hurting.
But not hurting.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, my children's father. Okay, that's all I need to say about that.
We can edit this out if you don't want it in there.
That's all you need to say about that.
Cool,
Yeah,
cool,
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Say this.
I went into labor with Jared on, it was in February, what goes on in February, basketball, the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Like the ACC tournament and
no,
stuff. Well,
not the
that's March.
ACC tournament, you know, the 3-point shootout. And
Oh,
the,
yeah,
you know,
All-Star. All-Star
I
weekend.
had the nerve to go into labor on All-Star weekend.
Oh, you poor thing.
Okay. Yeah.
All-Star weekend.
Yeah.
So I'm like, you know, I think maybe we need to go to the hospital before my water broke. He was like, just lay down. Just lay down. Let's get ready to do the 3-point shootout. Just lay down for a few minutes.
Just hold tight. Just
Hold on.
second.
Hold on.
Hold
Hold on.
second. Just wait 1 second. Hold it in. Oh
Right.
my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So I went to the bathroom. My water broke. I hollered out.
Yeah.
And yeah, he started moving then.
I
Yeah.
bet.
Yeah. I bet.
He started moving then. So my water broke about 10 something. I get to the hospital and Jared was born at 12:15.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. You
All
move fast. You
Yeah.
move fast.
Yeah, so I had started complaining about ache, and at the beginning of the All-Star thing on TV,
Right.
you know, I had started complaining about ache. My water broke at like 10. He was born at 12:15.
It must be
Right.
nice.
Well, I'm so glad I got to hear this story
Same,
because
same.
that was good because I think I don't know if we hear a lot of like older, like not older, but like people my age like gave birth in the 90s.
Mhm.
You don't hear a lot of like complications like this.
Yeah, no.
You don't hear about it, and I mean, obviously times have changed and
Practice
women are
change,
practices change and women are, you know, have more complications nowadays. You know, women
and
are
I
older
think
giving
they're
birth,
more
like
vocal, like
Yes.
with their birth stories and that kind of thing.
yes.
Like to this day, I don't know about my mama. Like when she had my baby brother, like I don't know the story leading up. I know a
Yeah.
specific point when she
Mhm.
got to complete, but besides that, I don't know anything else.
Yeah. I feel like my mama tells me a different version every time I ask her. Like it was years, and she was like, "Oh yeah, your brother was breached." When did you ever
when were you gonna
mention
say
that?
Right.
Okay, all right.
You know, like my mom telling her birth story.
now that is, I
I
love
would
hearing the
wanna hear
older.
that. I definitely want to
I
hear that.
love hearing that.
She doesn't remember a lot of it, she says.
Yeah.
You know, because they like twilight you, evidently.
I
They
have
used
heard
to-
that kind of.
They
Yeah,
like give you some medicine that would make you kind of
Yeah.
yeah. And
like that was their pain medicine.
Yeah.
yeah,
So,
that was their pain medicine.
you know, she was twilighted
probably
most
the
of the
Harper
time.
cocktail.
Yeah. Might have been.
I'm
It was
sure.
probably the
Or
Harper,
Harper cocktail, right.
yeah,
And she was like, that she doesn't really
Remember?
Right.
remember a lot
Mhm.
of it, except when it came down to time to push and they're, you know.
yeah. Wake up, girl.
Yeah.
wake up. Yeah, wake up. Well, that is so good, Johnette. I am so glad you were able to join us on the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
And you know, this is your birth story, and as we get into like another guest and who has given birth more recently, I think it's going to be really interesting to see how these two stories are similar and also very
Very
different.
different.
Also very different. So thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
You're
joining
welcome,
us.
and thank you for having me.
Yeah,
I
of
am so honored to be here.
Yes,
Thank
so
you for
happy.
asking me to be here.
Well, guys, that concludes this portion of the episode. Stay tuned because we have something else special coming up. But we'll be back in just a bit.
Hey, Laborhood gang, we are so grateful for all of you to tune in and make this podcast so special.
That's right. We truly appreciate your support, and we wanted to let you know about a way you can take that support to the next level.
Absolutely. You can now become a supporter of the Laborhood podcast by pledging a monthly reoccurring amount. You can help us continue our mission to advocate for and support birthing persons and their families.
It's super easy to do. Just visit our website at www.thelaborhoodpod.com or check the description of this episode for the link.
Your contributions help cover the cost of producing this podcast, reaching more people, and making a positive impact in maternal health care.
So, if you're a person in a position to become a supporter, we would greatly appreciate it. Every little bit goes a long way.
And remember, you're not just supporting the podcast and us, you're helping us create a safer and better birth experience for many people.
Thank you for considering it, and thank you for being a part of the Laborhood family.
Now let's dive into today's episode.
Hey guys.
Welcome back.
Welcome back to the second part of this very, very, very special episode. What we realized is that we were so excited to get started at the beginning that we didn't tell you our credentials. So my name is Briea. As you already know, I am a nationally certified inpatient obstetrics registered nurse.
I'm Shay. I'm also that, because y'all know I can't say it by this point. So I'm also what she is, as well as I am a board certified nurse midwife.
So you have heard one part and one story of someone giving birth. You heard Johnette's wonderful story.
Crazy
interesting story, but great. But now we are going to fast forward a little bit. And we have another very special guest here with us.
I don't know about special, but hi.
You are special. You are special.
Please introduce yourself. Tell us, who you are, what you do.
Oh gosh. Okay. My name is Aleah. I am I'm not gonna say board certified like them because they are, legit. I'm a nurse anesthetist. I was a critical care registered nurse for about 4.5 years before that, but I'm a nurse anesthetist. I work in a level 1 trauma hospital.
Welcome. You got it.
You
I
got
can't
it,
do
because
it.
I'm calling you.
Yeah.
Hey, come help.
And you know what I could say about what y'all do, because I can't look at them. I can't look at them. I'm above the head.
So thank you for joining us, Aleah. Obviously, you are here because you have had a baby. You have had a baby. So tell us about your little one, how old, and all that good stuff.
I have a little boy. He's 2 months old.
Okay.
It has been a journey. I will say, from coming from the side of knowing a little bit about labor and delivery, and then actually in pregnancy and all the things, we learn hormones and all the stuff in school, and then actually being pregnant and giving birth is completely different.
Yes.
So Shay knows. I have called Shay almost every day.
And that's
For the
fine.
9
And I
months.
answer every time.
Right, and the text,
Yes.
is this normal?
Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, I have a little boy. He's 2 months old, and he's great.
Wonderful.
Oh, I'm so happy to hear that. I can't wait to see you.
So we're kind of gonna go through the same gist that we went through with Johnette, just to kind of hear. Obviously, Johnette gave birth in 91. You gave birth just 2 months ago. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So we're kind of gonna go through the same thing. We just wanna, so hopefully people will see and hear how different or the same, you guys' birth stories actually are. Okay. So you don't have to necessarily tell us the exact hospital, but when and where, like what city did you give birth?
I gave birth in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Okay.
Really good hospital. I honestly, I guess working in healthcare, you kind of can pick out where you want to go, where you don't want to go.
Right.
So I was fortunate enough to pick out the one, and it was a good choice. You said when and where.
Well, I guess 2 months ago. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
We
2
don't-
months ago.
2 months ago,
Yeah,
we had a baby. We had a baby in
Look,
2023.
look,
this
the
year.
mom mush brain is real.
Yeah.
So we had this class again. But yeah, 2 months ago in Greensboro. honestly, I did not have a bad like birthing experience.
Good.
I can say.
I'm really glad to hear.
Good.
That. Really glad to hear.
So
that.
I'm glad I picked where I went.
Good. So within your pregnancy,
Look.
yeah,
I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, good. That's always good to hear. On our end is when someone has a good birth experience. Your pregnancy, was it okay? Was there any humps and bumps in the road where it was like, whew?
There were honestly no complications. The first trimester I was just sick. I mean, normal textbook hyperemesis. It was yeah. I mean, to the point where you want to throw up. It was so bad. I mean, as Shay could tell you, like I looked deathly. I looked.
She was absolutely beautiful. She was ghostly. She was absolutely beautiful.
Shay's being really nice. I looked rough. I did lose 20 pounds though, so shout out to the baby for that. Right. But no, I didn't have luckily, knock on wood, I didn't have high blood pressure, any problems with diabetes, anything. So I mean, straightforward pregnancy.
Good.
I mean, it was just you being pregnant. It was just everything you read about, and it was like, oh, this is not fun at a certain point. But no issues really.
Good. Oh, yeah, so good to hear. Any instances if you in the hospital prior to having your son, anything happened where it was just this wasn't that great of an experience?
Yes,
okay.
Actually, everything you learn and read, you can read and Google everything nowadays. But right. But I think around 16 weeks, I work 13-hour shifts. Right, I work in healthcare, and I was just cramping really bad. And I mean, us knowing everything and not knowing enough, I'm like, oh Lord, what's going on?
Yeah.
Am I miscarrying? So I actually was working that night, and when I got off of my shift, I went upstairs to labor delivery at the hospital I work at, and just to get checked out to make sure everything was okay. I just wanted to ultrasound something to know, and it was not the best experience.
Can you kind of elaborate and tell us?
Walk
us through everything that happened.
No, I got checked in, and I mean the receptionist was nice, but my nurse, when she came in, she just was, it was blank. She just didn't speak. She was just like, hey, how you doing? Put this on. I, put the gown on. At this point, I worked 13 hours. It's 11:30 midnight. And, I was just like, I just want to know if the baby's okay. I'm having these symptoms. And she was just really cold. It was, it was just really cold. And hours went by, and she listened. She went, let me first say this, for the first few minutes after I changed, she put the heart monitor or to listen to the heartbeat. And she was taking a really long time. Now I know at 16 weeks, you still little and you can't really hear that well. But from my OB appointments I've been going to, the nurse has been a nurse for 30-some years. She puts it on your belly, finds it within the first minute or so. Yeah. So she's looking around. I start tearing up because I'm like, oh gosh, she can't find the heartbeat.
Right.
I'm
now
cramping.
You're anxious, right?
Yeah, and I'm just at this point, I'm just talk to me. I'm upset. Just talk to me. Tell me what's going on. So I'm like, are you having trouble? She's like, it's fine. I'm like, all right. So she finally finds the heartbeat. She says what it was. Now, again, I took my badge off, so they don't know I'm in healthcare. So just telling me a number, normal people don't know like if that's good or bad. And I'm in my head, I'm thinking like, let me go back to the textbooks. Like, is that okay? Is that okay? Yeah. Because I take care of adults, so
right.
I'm like, you know, is that good? Like,
Because in an adult, that's kind of wild.
They having a heart attack.
Yeah.
Like, is my baby okay?
We need an EKG.
Gee,
Right.
help us.
Right.
Yeah.
So hours went by, and I mean, like, she walked out, and I'm just waiting, and then she finally comes in, and she's like literally looks at me and was like, I'm gonna give you an IV, and we're gonna start some fluids. I'm like, is the baby okay? She's like, we're gonna get some fluids. You're dehydrated. I'm like, okay. Hooks me up. I'm texting Shay. I'm like, calling Shay. Like, somebody, right? She's like, it's all right. You know, get it to the, who's the nurse? And I'm like, trying to tell her. And I'm like, just over at this point. I was there for about 2.5 hours before a advanced practitioner came in. There's a midwife there. And she was, you know, went through the assessment. I told her everything. And she was so focused on my mental health because I was tearful. And she was like, we need to check you. And I was like, do you need to check me? Like,
yes.
you know, I'm not bleeding. I'm not, you know, everything. She was like, I want to check you to make sure because of where your pain is. I'm like, okay. At this point, it's like 2, 3 in the morning. I'm like tearful. I start crying.
Yeah.
I'm like, y'all ain't told me if my baby's okay at all. You haven't hooked me up to a monitor. You haven't looked.
Yeah, which is also, I think, important for nurses to know and understand words are everything.
Yes.
She was probably like, oh, yeah, baby's fine, da-da-da-da. But
Right.
if you don't tell the patient those words, no, everything is fine. Like, look them
Right.
in their eyes and tell them, yes, listen to the heart rate. It should be between this and this. Your baby's was this. Everything looks good on our part. Unless you say those words, patients are still kind of in the dark, like,
Yeah.
What's you listen, but ain't nobody
Nobody
actually
has
said the word.
my baby
Everything's
is okay.
Right.
Yeah. Nobody
Yeah.
has said that to you.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting there, and she starts telling me about mental health, and, you know, you seem really anxious, and, you know, it's okay to get on medication for this. And that's what she spent, like, her whole time in there talking about. And at that point, I was just over it. I was like, you know, I'm here by myself. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. Nobody said, is my baby okay? I keep asking, like, can you check on the monitor? Can you do something? And at the very end, after you tell me I should get on medicine, you say, oh, yeah, your baby's fine. You're just a little dehydrated. And I'm just like, it really made me feel like they thought I was incompetent. And, you know, health, you know, because, like I said, I didn't tell them who I was because I feel like you should be treated the same.
Exactly.
Everybody should be.
Whether you know it or not.
Correct.
And we know that you get either you'll get special treatment or you'll get ignored if you tell people you're in healthcare. So it was just, I mean, I had like 3 OB appointments at this point. Like, everybody was nice. Like, I've only seen nurse practitioners at this point. I did see one MD, and everybody had been super nice at the practice that I went to. This was a different hospital. So it was just really discouraging because I was like, they really made me feel like, you know, you didn't know anything. I didn't matter because I know, like you said, in healthcare, you have to reassure people. Like, 90% of what we do is reassuring people. Even if it's not good, you still have to talk to them, reassure them.
Right.
That was honestly the only time when I was like, I ain't never going back.
Yeah.
And I did not. I was like, I don't care if I give birth in this. I mean, if I go in labor in this parking lot.
Yeah.
I told Shay, I said, I could be at work. I'm calling the ambulance. I'm calling an
Yeah.
Uber. I'm calling somebody to come get me.
I'm getting nobody here.
Because I am not giving birth here.
Yeah.
So, yeah. That was a really bad. I've never been treated like that in healthcare. Like, it was really bad.
Yeah.
Now, you personally identify as a woman of color. So how did this person telling you about your mental health, how did that, like, make you feel?
It's really hard because in life I'm a woman of color, but then you know, to people of color, I'm a white girl, you know, so you always go back and forth. So anytime I'm in the presence usually of people that are not of color, I've always looked down upon. I mean, I have some color to me. I have tattoos. I have a really bad resting face. So, I mean, you know, it just made me feel, I don't know, probably can't cuss on here, but, you know, it didn't make me feel good because I was just like, I know I don't sound health illiterate. You know, I don't sound like some of the time some of our patients do and, like, you know, in different economic statuses or whatever. So I'm like, I can't imagine what they feel or how they're getting treated because you're treating me like I'm an incompetent black girl. You know what I mean? Like, we see that with our patients all the time that, you know, they might get overlooked or, you know, like listening to her story, like, you're in pain. Oh, she's just, you know, wants some pain medicine or something. So it just made me feel horrible. I think that was the worst part about the experience. It's not that, you know, it takes a while. I know I work in healthcare. We're busy, you know, we're short-staffed. But it just made me feel horrible because I'm like, you were just treating me like I'm less than. You know what I mean? Like, that was the worst feeling about it all because like you don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Like, even me being in healthcare, I did not know what was going on. So, yeah, it did not feel good.
I wanted people to understand, like, how you interact with a patient, like, address their main concern first, right? You were concerned about the baby. And if she would have told you, like, yes, your baby is okay. However, I also noticed that you are a little anxious and blah, 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 blah. Then it may have been a little bit different. But I feel like the way that it was
Because had she just addressed the baby concern first, you probably would have realized the anxiety would have went away. Because I'm just anxious that you didn't tell me anything,
right?
You know,
right? Yeah, you know, because then if you would have talked to me, like, also it's 2:00 in the morning and you're here.
I have worked
all day. I've been on my feet all day.
You're really dehydrated. You know, like if you would have asked me more, because especially, you know, like nurses, we know, like, we get to know our patients. You know what I mean? Like, what do you do? You know, so if you just work 13 hours. Yeah. This is your first baby.
And
of course you're anxious.
Concern when somebody comes in cramping and it's like, what'd you do? What are you doing?
What have you been doing today?
Did you work today? How was your water? How much water did you drink? Yeah.
What water?
Right. I've been in the OR for the past 6 hours. I ain't had a drop of nothing, you know? Yeah. So,
yeah, that was upsetting. But luckily the practice that I went to and the hospital I went to was a completely different experience.
Good. I'm very, very glad to hear that.
I'm so happy to hear that.
All right, so I know your birth story because you called me literally, but every day, and that's fine. That's fine.
Get you a friend.
Right, every day. But kind of tell the people, like, the day that you called me, you were like, Shay, I'm hurting.
Yes.
All right,
walk us through it.
Yeah, walk us through it. Oh, and please tell them what you were doing before that happened.
Okay. All right. So I work out. You know, I try to stay really active for my pregnancy, because, you know, we know the benefits of, like, working out and try not to push it. My husband's a little fitness guru. So he's like, you gonna, you know, move and stuff. So by 9 months, I was over it. She was
like, what can I do to get this baby out?
Yeah, I am 9 months pregnant in the heat. I don't like the heat. I sweat. So I was miserable. And I was like, I got to get this baby out. And Shay's like, you can do this, this, and this, you know. Can I say, like, you can have sex? And I'm like, ain't nobody touching me. Everything hurts. Everything's swollen. I don't want to be don't touch me. Don't look at me. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to go hiking. All right. It was a little miniature hike. It wasn't like, it was a Kernsville hike. You know, it wasn't that big.
It was a hike.
It was.
I mean, I told you to go walking, but I didn't tell you to take a hike.
Let's change the altitude a bit.
Right. Just a little bit. You know, just a little bit. Because she's like, you do curve walking. I was like, I'm going to walk on this. I'm going to walk on this mountain. So, you know, I hiked for like an hour and a half. I think we got back around like 1 p.m. to the house. And during the hike, you know, I was like, you know, first of all, you had breath. Just couldn't breathe. Just breathing. And everybody kept saying, like, Braxton Hicks are a thing, right? Mm-hmm. The whole pregnancy, I was like, what does it feel like? And people keep telling you what it feels like, but it doesn't always feel like that. Yeah. So you don't know. Mm-hmm. You know, like, you got this big thing in you. You can't breathe. You're uncomfortable. So I'm like, is this a Braxton Hicks? Is this gas? You know, like. Yeah. So I was like, well, during the hike, I was like, maybe I'm having a Braxton Hicks. I don't know. It's tight. It's a little bit uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Also,
but uncomfortable all the time. So it's like,
right. And my baby was in there, like, kicking. Like, he moves. And he is like that now. Like, he's just moving. So I'm like, maybe, you know, he just hitting something he ain't supposed to. Yeah. So I get back, and I'm like, it's still tight. All right, you know, let me just sit down, because change position, right? You know, I'm like, oh, maybe that is a Braxton Hicks. So then I looked down, you know, I used the bathroom, and I was like, is this my mucus plug? Mm-hmm. I don't know. You know, I hate to say it, but, you know, some stuff come out. So you be like, is this normal? Yeah. Shay, I'm about to send you a picture. I said, Shay, I'm about to send you a picture. I think I lost my mucus plug. She was like, you could have. She was like, what are you doing? I was like, I just got done hiking. She was like, Aleah.
You told me to walk.
Listen, I was like, it's Friday. My due date is Monday.
Yeah.
Or
Saturday. Like Tuesday. It was Tuesday.
Yeah. I was like, I don't want to go back to work. I do not want to work 13 hours. I want to get this baby out.
I'm ready to have it.
Right. So I call her, and she's like, just keep an eye on it. Like, you know, are you bleeding? Are you, like, having contractions? And I'm like, no, I feel a little uncomfortable, but
that's all the time.
Like, you know, no different. Is this my mucus plug? She was like, could be. But you can lose it, and you cannot be in labor.
Right.
Like,
it could be days.
Keep an eye on it, right? I'm like, all right. So she's, like, texting me a couple hours. You fine? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. I guess I'm hungry. So we go get a pizza, and I'm like, my back hurts. And I'm like, it could be like round ligament pain, you know, like it could be that, or, you know, I did hike, and I did a lot. I'm really big now, so my back hurts. It's just normal. I'm like, dang, my back really hurts. So Shay texts me. She's like, you all right? I'm like, just back pain. I'm all right. I'm good. No contractions yet. Nothing yet. Like, like
no
nothing. Nothing. So 11 o'clock that night, you know, we go to sleep, and around like 1 o'clock, because, you know, at this point you're peeing every like 2 minutes. Mm-hmm. So I get up, I go to the bathroom. I'm like, I just feel uncomfortable. Get a pain in my stomach. I'm like, let me look at the time. It's like 1:11. All right. Goes away. I breathe through it. Goes away. I go back, lay down. I'm having another pain. It's 1:13. I'm like, I could use the bathroom.
I'm a labor nurse, and that's still gonna be me. Like, is that what this is?
Because it's almost like you're in denial because you want it to happen so bad.
I'm gonna go to the hospital. They're gonna say I'm closed. It'll be bad.
Right. I was like, because, you know, they do ask you, like, you know, when you go, do you want to get checked? I'm like, no, ain't no point. Ain't nothing going on.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, this ain't nothing. So I was like, let me go back to the bathroom. I just got to use the bathroom. We did eat pizza at like 9 o'clock at night. You know? And so I go back to the bathroom, bloody show. I'm like, oh, all right. Next thing you know, another contraction. And it's like it's been like a minute. I'm like, oh no, please let me get this epidural. Oh gosh. So I go and grab like my shower door. And I'm like, 'cause I'm gonna take a shower. Like, I got to take a shower. And that thing hit me again. I said, I ain't got time. I go, I wake my husband up. He does almost like a backflip out of bed. Yeah, he's like, what's going on? I'm like, I think I'm in labor. He's like, well, what do we do? I'm like, well, we got to go to the hospital.
Get in the car. Right. Get in the car and go. Grab the bag.
Right. He's like a deer in the headlights. So we get in there, like we get in the car, and I'm looking at my phone, and my contractions are like every minute to 3 minutes. And I'm like, oh my God, please don't let this baby come in this car, because he ain't gonna know what to do. Oh gosh. And I ain't gonna know what to do.
Right.
So I call Shay. I'm like, Shay, I'm on the way to the hospital. She's like, okay. Are you know, like, how far are your contractions? I said, you know, like every minute to 3 minutes apart. She said, okay.
Okay.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's go. Yeah, she was like, all right, I'm going to see who's on tonight or whatever like that. I'm like, okay, all right. You know, so we get there. I am like, at this point, he like pulls up. He almost at the door with the car.
Yeah, I've heard that he actually almost hit the valet.
He did. He almost. He gets out. I'm like, turn the car off. You know, like, let's go. So I'm like waddling in, holding my belly. And it's funny because the security, they're like, they point to like, go that way.
Go that way. That way. Yeah.
Right. At this point, it's like 2:30. So I get in, and the lady looks at me, and she's like, how far apart are your contractions? And I'm like, every minute, 3 minutes. She's like, okay. And as I'm saying it, like, she sees me having contractions. Yeah. So I'm like bent over, like, ooh, you know, this is painful. Like, this is like crippling painful. So I'm trying to breathe through it. She tells my husband, she was like, did you park at the front? And he's like, yeah. She was like, go move your car, because it will get towed.
Yeah.
So she was like, she'll be fine. Go move your car. She looks at me, and she was like, I want you to go back over there to the doors. Like, she checks me in quickly, puts the band on. Before I can even sit down, the nurses, like 3 nurses came out and got me. And they were like, come on, come back. So I get back. I mean, not even a hello, thank you. They're like, hey, lay down, gloves on. I'm like, oh, okay. They're like, open your legs. I'm like, okay. Yeah. They checked me. I was 6 centimeters dilated.
Okay.
70% of face. I was like, yes, hike.
Yes,
hike. It was painful though. And then I was like, can you please go get my husband? Like, please go get him, because I need somebody here. You know, I ain't had the best experience. They're like, it's okay, sweetie, you're doing great. I'm like, I'm so sorry. They're like, you're good. Like, you're 6 centimeters. You're holding like a champ.
We gotta have a baby.
Right. I was like, I just want my epidural. That's the only thing on my birth plan is an epidural. That's all I want.
And it is okay to have that on your birth plan,
that's
y'all.
all you got.
If that's all you want,
we're going to go with it.
Listen,
we're going to go with it.
On mine.
Right.
Okay.
Right. I was like, that's all I want.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want no water bath. I
don't want none of that.
I just want the drugs.
So you got up to L&D.
Yes.
You got your epidural.
Thank Lord. Yes. Thank you, Lord.
Tell us. Okay. Well, the people don't know, but so that was what, 2:30, 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
You were complete by
probably like
10 centimeters.
You were
probably by like 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Listen.
Yeah.
What I'm talking about.
Now again, she is also a unicorn. She is tall. She is athletic. Same as Miss Johnette.
Yeah,
These are our unicorns.
Yeah.
But you see how similar, like, things can happen.
Yes.
Hey there, Laborhood gang. This is Shay, one of your co-hosts of the Laborhood podcast, and I've got something very special to share with you. An exclusive offer that is just too good to pass up. Have you ever heard of Hello Bello? If not, you are in for a treat. Let me tell you. Hello Bello is all about making parenting easier and more affordable, and we are thrilled to partner with them as Hello Bello enthusiasts. With Hello Bello, you can get high-quality baby products that won't break the bank. And here is the best part. We've got a unique code that will score you an incredible 20% off of your very first order. To snag this deal, all you have to do is use our special link and apply the code THEL at checkout. That's not all. Hello Bello was co-founded by none other than Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard, parents who believe that all babies deserve the best, and we do too. They are on a mission to make premium parenting accessible to everyone, and their products reflect that commitment. Hello Bello crafts their products with babies, parents, and the planet in mind, all while keeping prices as low as possible. So let's make some magic together on our journey to bring premium parenthood to you all. When you use our unique code, THEL, not only do you get an amazing discount, but you also support the Laborhood podcast. Thank you so much for being a part of our amazing Laborhood gang community, and happy parenting with Hello Bello. Now let's get back to the show.
By the time they had checked me and I was 6, to even rolling me upstairs, I had already progressed to 8 centimeters. So I was like, yes.
Yeah, she was flying.
Yes.
Girl, you was moving like a multi.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like,
I want that cell. Because at this point, I can't get nothing out of it. I will sit still. I'll sit still.
right. And I know the drill, please, Lord. And luckily, like, and they were even nice because when I got upstairs and they saw, like, I had the shakes really bad and I was, in pain.
Mm-hmm.
You
was probably sweating too.
Yeah. Sweating, shakes. You know it. You know it. I was like, I need a fan.
Yeah.
So she was like, do you want something? I was like, no, I don't want no drugs. Like, I don't need no drugs. Just epidural.
Yeah.
And luckily, by the time that she was asking me questions, my anesthesiologist had came in, put it in my bag. I was like, thank you, Lord. Yeah. But yeah, I was complete with probably by like 5. It's just that he was too high up still, and I didn't know that. Like, I didn't know that you could be, you read like, oh, you're complete.
Time to start pushing.
Time to start pushing. I'm like, all right, I'm 10 centimeters. Let's go. They're like, no,
nah,
he's still too high up. I'm like,
yeah.
But I'm 10 centimeters. But I don't want to like. Yeah. And I had actually gotten to 9, and my water hadn't broke. So they had to come in and break my water. So, yeah, it took another 5 hours for him to come down with position changes. I'm texting Shay. Yeah. I'm like, she's like, are they turning you? Are you sitting up like in a throne? I said, I'm sitting up. I'm turned to the side. Yeah. Like, I'm just, But at that point, y'all, get the epidural. I was cool. I didn't care. I didn't feel nothing. Yeah. Nothing at all. Maybe mine was real heavy. I didn't feel anything.
Yeah.
Okay. It was great.
Oh, that's so good.
I'm actually really happy to hear that you said that you had a great experience.
Yes. Yeah. That always makes me happy. Especially, I like for everybody to have a good birth experience, but Black women don't always get the best experience. Right. Especially just in the hospital setting because, we know the statistics. We know how things, we've heard and we've read and, we work in healthcare. So just like before when you felt like you weren't really heard as a Black woman, they don't always have the best birth experience. So it does always make me feel good when somebody does have a good birth experience.
And I will say the nurses in the labor were amazing.
Yeah.
Like I had this one that was just like, the doctor walked in and had the resident and she was like, do you want them in here? I said, no.
Mm-hmm.
I want a midwife.
Yeah.
She was like, do you want, I was like, that's it. Just a midwife.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. She was like really advocating for me. Like, my patient doesn't want this. I don't think she wanted it either. But she was like, I just want the midwife in here. And that's it. And it was great. Like, the midwife came in towards the end.
Yeah. And that's why it's super important to be vocal to your nurse about what you want. Because the nurses, we don't mind.
Right.
We don't mind being like,
excuse me,
hey,
do you have a job?
She doesn't want this, and this.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have a problem.
As soon as you tell me you don't want something, okay, we're going to make that happen. Because of course, all women, I want my patients to have the best experience possible.
Exactly.
And I don't want you uncomfortable with, a resident checking you and then the resident standing back. It just can be a bit.
It's a bit much.
It's a little intimate around here, and especially if it's at a hospital you work at, it can be very like, minimal people, please, you know. So yes,
because I mean, like you do know, like your legs are wide open. You're naked at this point.
Yeah,
like it don't need to be 10 people in here.
Agreed.
It's a lot of people going on. You know, it's a lot going on down there. So no, that was nice. I think post-op though, I was a little sad about the care, because it just seems like it was just.
It's different.
Yeah, like the care is very different. Once you get to postpartum, it is very different. Because the acuity has changed.
Yeah,
you know, in L&D we're like, you know, 1 to 1 or 2 to 1. Yeah, you know, 2 to 1 max. And then when you go to postpartum, sometimes they might have 5, you know, mamas and babies that they're taking care of. So the acuity is very different, and I do personally believe that some postpartum nurses are stretched too thin. Like,
I can see that.
They're stretched way too thin. And so I could see how that could.
I can see the temperament too.
Yeah.
Like you know, it's just like you get spoiled with that like one-on-one attention. Yeah. And then afterwards, I'm like, I just want an icy.
Yeah.
I've been asking for an icy for like 4 hours.
Yeah.
Shay, can you send me a icy? Right. You know, like. So yeah, I can see that.
Yeah.
Are there anything like that you is there anything that you wish have gone differently, or if you could go back, or next time when you have your little girl, anything that you like?
She looking like, girl.
I'm still in the thick of it. I don't know. Right. My baby be colicky. I would say for the whole like labor process, no. I think when I was 16 weeks, I should have drove myself to the hospital that I delivered at. But labor was, I mean, it went great. I had, like I said, great staff. I had rotated in school in that hospital, so I kind of knew and saw how they took care of their patients, and that's why I wanted to deliver there. So honestly, I wouldn't have done anything differently. It was great. I still would have got the epidural.
Okay. Yeah.
I would have got it at home.
No,
if I could.
That's,
you know what I mean?
My motto.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because and I'm glad I did, because afterwards I had to, you know, I had some complications. So I'm glad I did get the epidural. Because I bled a lot, and my placenta got retained a little bit. And it hurt, tore. So shout out to the epidural.
You said if you have retained placenta, that's different than just, you know, some stitches. Like sometimes they got to go in and kind of manually get the rest of that placenta out.
Yeah, I felt it after, like later on, like you're just really sore and it just hurts a little bit, you know, longer. But I ain't feel nothing. I was just sitting there chilling.
Yeah,
I was trying to.
You were loving on that baby.
I was gonna say that golden hour all that mattered. It was just like, you know, it's fine.
I was so out of it, y'all. I was so tired. I was like, I just want to go to sleep.
Yeah, because at that point you hadn't been asleep.
No,
you slept for what, 2 hours before you labor started.
And that's nothing. Yeah,
I know. I missed them 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I get them down. No. It was. I mean, it was honestly fine. It could have been a lot worse, especially with me bleeding in my placenta. Like, I am a little bit more biased to advanced practitioners, I guess, because I am one, and you know, like you just see like. It could have, and I've heard horror stories, it could have went a lot differently. You know, like if she or that person didn't see that I had some retained placenta, because it was like micro fragments that were in there that I was bleeding, because I bled like a liter afterwards. So it could have went really badly, but fine.
Yeah.
It was good.
I'm so glad.
I am too.
I'm so glad.
And I'm glad that you came on here to share with us and our listeners and our viewers.
Yes.
It means a lot. It means a lot to me personally, but it's also good for people to hear differences. It's also good for people to hear similar things that could have or have had happen to them, and they see like that you can be taken care of well, and that you can be listened to, you can be heard, and you can have essentially the birth that you want.
Right.
I think it's really important for people to know that,
especially in the hospital, because it's not always portrayed in the best light.
Hey everybody, this is Shay, one of your co-hosts for the Laborhood podcast, and I'm thrilled to share some exciting news with our incredible listeners today. The Laborhood is now an Amazon influencer, and I couldn't be more excited to introduce you to our very own Amazon storefront. You might be wondering, what is an Amazon influencer and how it impacts or benefits you? But I'm here to provide you with hand-picked recommendations for products we truly believe in and use in my everyday role as a baby catcher. Our storefront is a carefully curated collection of items that I found to be incredibly valuable for both the birthing person and their precious babe. From essentials for new moms to must-haves for those special moments during childbirth, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. When you shop our storefront, you're not only getting access to tried and true products, but you're also supporting the Laborhood podcast. Your purchases through our storefront help us continue our mission of advocating for maternal health and empowering birthing persons. Plus, I want to be fully transparent with our amazing community. So when you make a purchase through our Amazon storefront, we may earn a small commission from Amazon as a part of being an Amazon influencer in their program. So not only do you get fantastic products that I personally recommend, but you also contribute to our efforts to make a positive impact in the world of maternal health. To start shopping and explore our hand-picked selection, simply visit www.amazon.com/shop/Laborhood podcast, or you can click the link in the episode description or link in our bio. Don't miss out on these incredible finds that can enhance your birthing experience and support new parents on their journey. Thank you for being a part of the Laborhood gang and for helping us make a meaningful difference in maternal health care. All right, let's get back to this.
I would say the biggest thing, especially for people, for women of color, is to just try to educate yourself as much as you can. Right?
Listening to the podcast. Okay, yeah.
Listen to the
and accredited, like
Yeah.
credible
Yes. Yeah,
sources.
Yeah, this is 2023, right? Like, there's so many different avenues you can go. You can do this podcast. You can do YouTube with accredited people. You know, you can do so much instead of asking Google. You can pick up a book.
Yeah.
You can do so much to try. And if you don't know, just ask. I think that's the biggest thing with people of color is they're so scared to ask. But also, you ask and you get people sometimes that just ignore you. So it's kind of hard.
Yeah. And to that, I will say keep asking.
Yeah.
Keep asking.
Keep asking. If you didn't understand the answer or you didn't feel like you even got an answer, really, ask again. Ask somebody else.
I actually had that happen with a patient the other day. She was in triage. Surprisingly, was getting induced. Was not planning on that coming into triage. And as you know, the doctor's doing their spiel about what's going to happen. You know, going through consent. You know, consent is
Right.
It's a whole bunch of stuff.
Right.
And I could just see her like, she was like, "You just told me 5 million things, and you can ask me what my name is, and I wouldn't even be able to tell you right now."
I don't even know what the first thing you said.
When I saw that, you know, after the doctor left, and she was like, "I know, I told you a lot, but you know, by all means, you know, we're gonna take good care of you." Which I mean, that's fine. And when the doctor left, I said, "Listen to me." I said, "If you have a question about something that she just asked, once you get to your room, ask somebody to explain it again." Yeah. I said, ask as many times as you need to before anything gets started. Ask so that you are aware of what's going on. I said, nobody's going to get mad at you for asking. I said, I promise you, nobody's going to get mad at you for asking. I was like, have things explained so that you're not literally like, girl, what is going on in here? You know,
I don't know how we ended up here.
Yes. She actually ended up doing really well, I think. But yeah, don't be afraid to ask those questions. And if you have to ask it more than one time, that is okay too. Yeah. Ask it again. Ask your doctor, ask the nurse. If you go through a full 12 hours, ask the next nurse. If you know, ask them. Ask the anesthesiologist. Okay, now what's going on? Now how you going to do it? How are you going to, you know?
How long does it last?
Yeah, ask. There's nothing wrong with asking that. I really tell people there are no dumb questions.
No,
because
I don't think so.
I've had people who, this is like their fourth baby, but listening to Johnette's story, you can hear how every baby is different. The scenario might not be the same. And that's something that I have changed in my practice with that little afterthought, like, girl, this is your fourth baby. Why you don't know what's going on? But then it's like, this could be completely different. Like, I've had moms who were induced with the first one, induced with the second one, and here comes the third one, and she rolled in, she's 8, she's like, they've always had to put me into labor. I have no idea, like, what's this?
Right.
What's this? You know, how did we get here? And so I'm always like, don't be afraid to ask the questions because there are no dumb questions. And if somebody makes you feel dumb, ask another person. Ask somebody else. Yeah, because they shouldn't.
Well, thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank
you so much for coming. I'm so glad you got to come and tell your story because I think a lot of people will be able to relate.
Yeah, thank you for having me. If I could do anything differently, I would just have more money and pay somebody else to have a baby.
Yeah.
It's for the birds. It's for the birds. Yeah.
That is real. You know, if I just had enough money, I'll pay somebody else to do it.
Yeah, because hey, Kim K has something going. I'm telling you what, boy, things are just different.
Yeah,
but
yes.
different.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. This has been a very, very special episode, and I think you guys are really going to enjoy it because it does kind of span birth throughout the years and see how things have changed and how sometimes they haven't changed a whole lot. As always, you can find us on our socials at the Laborhood Pod. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Facebook. And you can also find us at our website at www.thelaborhoodpod.com. I always forget the pod. www.thelaborhoodpod.com. Thank you guys so much for joining us, and we can't wait to see you again. Bye.